Okay, so, when I was a kid, Monopoly was my favorite board game. And while this is through a retrospective lens, I think I enjoyed using money and buying stuff, and how cool it felt to pass go and get $200. You had infinite money, you just had to get past go again. Then I had to grow up and start understanding things. That $200 you got for passing go wasn't worth a whole lot. Between income tax literally being 2 spaces away, to all the houses and hotels on the board, $200 didn't stretch very far. I also realized that playing Monopoly as an adult always led to someone getting out of character angry. The game was fun if you were winning, or at least in a solidly competitive position, but there were times where you just stood no chance. And it was just miserable sitting there, with almost no money, your properties mortgaged, hoping to pass go just one more time to survive. Loop Hero is just like Monopoly in that sense. You are constantly trying to make it back to go on their version of the board. Go is the hero's camp in this case, which gives you just a little bit more HP to hopefully make it just one more time around the path. And I'm trying to figure out how to best explain this game. It's 1/2 board game, 1/2 RPG, 1/2 card game deck builder, 1/2 city builder, 1/2 roguelite, and maybe even 1/2 idle game. But do 6 halves make a whole? The story is pretty bare bones, with just enough to tell the hero why they are there, walking in circles. And that reason is time and space has ended or something like that. And all memories keep getting wiped, and no one remembers anything. Except they keep getting little clues that remind them of memories. So that way you can keep watching the dude walk around in circles a little more to see if the story goes anywhere. And that's literally the premise of the game. Watch the hero walk around in circles over and over until you decide enough resources have been collected, or the boss spawns. You go back to town, build a building to make the hero stronger, and send him on a differently laid out path to loop around again. Enemies will spawn on said path and the hero will auto-battle them, which you have no direct control over. If he defeats the enemy, said enemy will drop some sort of resource, sometimes equipment for your character, and sometimes cards, which are mostly used to modify the path. The longer the character survives, the harder the enemies get. The harder the enemies get, the better the gear gets. Simply put, your generic RPG grind. There are 2 meters at the top of the screen. One is your boss progress. Fill this bar and the boss spawns. And the other is day progression. Every time that bar resets, the hero will be healed. And while you can't directly control the character, you can control the path with cards. When in town, you can decide which cards to bring with you. These cards vary in usage, from giving the hero more health or higher health restoration at the beginning of each day, to cards that slow enemy spawn rates, to setting up spaces on the path that give you resources. The catch is that almost every card comes with a drawback. For example, Grove cards make tiles that give you wood when the hero passes over them, but also spawn rat wolves. Cemetery tiles give stone, but spawn skeletons. The more tiles you fill, the harder the path is to complete. You can hold 10 cards in your hand at a time, and if you decide not to use these cards, they will be discarded for resources. So you slowly start making buildings for the townsfolk, who slowly remember things like, hey, I'm a blacksmith, I can make you starting gear. Or, now that you built a farm, we can eat, even though we don't get hungry in the void. Whatever the reasons, these buildings give upgrades when it's time to return to circling the path again, making it a little easier to progress further. The graphics, I don't really like faux 8-bit pixel art style in general, so I will withhold judgment on Loop Hero's graphics. Although, the controls were great. The responsiveness of clicking on things was top-notch. After 10 hours of gameplay, I actually recommend this game. Loop Hero has a unique blend of a lot of ideas that, if scrutinized separately, would definitely fail to impress. The sum of these ideas is definitely more than the parts. This makes for a game that on paper seems repetitive, or dare I even say boring, is actually quite engaging to play. Sure, it is absolutely grind heavy, but if that is a mechanic you enjoy, or at very least tolerate, give Loop Hero a try. Thanks for watching.